Welcome to our video on creating and editing donation batches. Donation batches can be found under Donations, Funds, and Donations on the left side menu. All batches are displayed in the bottom half of the window in the batch list. When adding a new batch, you have the option to add a batch manually or use an import. The import options are Vanco import, a file import, or Worldline import. Icon CMO has partnered with Vanco and Worldline, the payment processors, to automatically pull in donations through our integration. For more information on those imports, you can find the help guides under Getting Started. If you want to import a file from a company that is not integrated with Icon CMO, select File Import. The window will open to choose your file. Instructions are outlined on the window, including all required fields. Once you have selected your file, click Import Batch. To create your own batch, click Add New Batch. The batch date is the date that the batch is typically deposited to the bank, but can be used however you would like. Several donation reports use this date to pull donation information, so you'll want to be consistent with how you use it. The batch name defaults to the current date when the batch was added. You can change the batch name by clicking into the field and entering the name that you want. The Donations column shows the total of the donations entered into the batch. New batches with no donations will say Enter Donations in this column. Click on Enter Donations or the dollar amount to open the batch. The entry window will open with the batch name and ID at the top. Click the blue plus sign to add a new entry to the batch. The default donor will be Cash Receipts Only 999999. Notice that the text is highlighted, meaning you can begin typing to overwrite the existing text. Search for a donor by typing their name or donor number. You can also click into the field and scroll through the list. If you search for a donor in the list and they are not there, you will get the option to add them by clicking Click here to add new donor. Review the information and fill in anything additional. When you click Add Donor, they will be added into the membership module as a household. This window is designed for quick entry, meaning you can exclusively use your keyboard to make your entries. Use either the Tab or Enter keys to move across the fields. When you get to the plus sign, click the space bar to add a new row. Enter the giving date for the donation, the amount, and the fund that the donor has donated to. Again, these fields are searchable, so you can begin by typing the name of the fund you want and then click Enter or Tab to select it. Just as you can add a new donor, you can also add a new fund from this window. If you search for a fund that is not already in your list as an option, you will see something that says, Click here to add new fund. The address column will show you the donor's address. This is helpful if you have many donors with the same last name. Change the currency type and enter a check number if applicable. If a donor gave one check and they want that donation to go to multiple funds, click Distribute. A sub-window will open with a list of all of your funds. Enter the amount the donor wants designated to each fund. Once the amount remaining at the bottom is $0, click Distribute in the bottom right corner. The transaction fee is used when you have fees associated with donations received, particularly on credit card donations. You may track those here. Visit the Donation Setup Guide under Getting Started to learn more. Comments for donations can be added with a max character count of 80. The batch total at the bottom of the window will update as you add donations. You can click on the column headers to change how the window is sorted. Click on the column header to change the sort order. You can always see what column the window is sorted by because it has a darker gray highlight around it. If you enter donations with an incorrect date and want to change all dates on the donations in the batch, click Change All Dates at the top. Just like the other area of donations, you can modify the fields you are viewing by clicking on the three dots in the top right corner and checking and unchecking the options as you wish. These selections are specific to the user account that you are logged in with. For example, if you don't record check numbers of your donations, you can remove that column to save time when entering donations. The options that are grayed out are required fields for recording donations. The Print Edit List dropdown provides a current printout of the batch, and you get to choose the order in which you want the report printed. The Print Report dropdown allows you to print receipts, deposit slips, and a fund summary. Hit Close when you are finished entering donations. Once your batch is complete, if you wish to print a report, you can click the printing icon in the far left under Batch ID to bring up the report. The batch ID is a unique identifier for each batch. When you hover your mouse over a field, a tooltip will be displayed that tells you what the function of that field is. The year column is the fiscal year the batch is in. To move a batch to a different fiscal year, click into the field and enter the year you want the batch to be in. Refreshing your window, you will see that the batch is no longer showing in the batch list of your current year. If you change the donation year at the top to the year that you put the batch in, you will see the batch showing at the bottom of the window. Batches can be duplicated by clicking on the copy icon in the duplicate column. A window will open to change the name of the new batch and to choose what giving date the donation should have. This works great for recurring EFT batches. Click Duplicate Batch once your selections have been made. If you need to make changes in a batch at any time, you would do so by clicking on the dollar amount of the batch to open it. Make any changes you want and close the batch. All of your changes are automatically saved. You can click on the log icon to show any changes made to the batch, such as donations being added, modified, or removed. This log has a 10-minute lag time. This means that a change being made within 10 minutes of the original entry wouldn't show in the log as a change. This is to minimize the number of entries in the log. Clicking on the trash can icon will delete the entire batch from Icon CMO. Please note that this action cannot be undone. If the batch had activity, the activity will remain in the system, and you can see that in the log file. You can check the box in the bottom left corner to display deleted batches. You cannot access the batches, but are still able to view the logs for those batches as an audit trail. If you want to create a file export, click on the export icon. A prompt will appear to select if you want an Excel file or a QuickBooks file. The Changed By and Created By columns will show you who created the batch and who last made a change to the batch. If you want to change the columns displayed, you can click on the three dots under Batch List on this window to add or remove columns from your view. Here you can also add filters and create custom reports. For example, if you want to print a report of all batches with a batch date in September, you would click the plus sign to add a filter. Select Date, then choose Is Between in the middle column and type the date range that you want. You will then see on your main window only batches that fit that criteria of the filter. I can give this report a name and print it right from this window. Be sure to remove the filter when you are done because filters are remembered and stay in place until they are removed. If you need to move donations from one donor record to another, you can do that by clicking Transfer at the top of the window. On the left, under From Donor, select the donor you wish to move donations from. All of their donations will appear under their name. Check the box next to the donations you want to transfer or the checkbox at the top to select them all. On the right, under To Donor, select the donor that you want to receive the transferred donations. Click Transfer in the bottom right when your selections have been made. Transferred donations will be highlighted in blue under the new donor number. If your organization does not use our fund accounting module, then that is all that you have to do to enter a batch. If your church does use our fund accounting module, there are some additional things you should know about entering batches. Make sure your accounting links are set up in order to send donation batches to accounting correctly. Learn more in the Donation Setup Guide under Getting Started. Be sure that you have the accounting action and accounting entry columns displayed. Add them by clicking on the three dots under Batch List. The date will be the transaction date that shows in the accounting system. The accounting action column will display different messages based on the status of the batch. Send to accounting will be displayed if a batch has not yet been sent to the fund accounting module. It will say Update Accounting if the batch was changed after it was sent to accounting and the accounting entry has not been updated to match. Reconciled means that the batch has already been reconciled in the banking module. If you make a change to the batch, it will not update the accounting entry. If you want changes to affect the accounting entry, the transaction would first need to be unreconciled from the banking module. The accounting entry column will show the general journal that was created on the accounting side from the batch. You can click on this to view the entry if you have been granted permission to do so by your system administrator. Deleting a donation batch will not remove the batch from accounting if it has already been sent to accounting. In that instance, when you are on the General Journal screen, you can remove the batch from accounting. Once the batch is removed from accounting, you can then remove it from donations. If you want to send multiple batches to accounting at once to be in the same deposit, click Send Multiple Batches to Accounting in the bottom left, and a sub-window will open for you to select the batches. Thanks for watching.